Okay, this video is for students and parents who have students that are enrolled in the AP Environmental Science class at North Tahoe High School. So the purpose of this video is to familiarize yourself with the course and what's going to be expected of the students taking the course. So first of all, there are a few prerequisites. The student has to have completed biology and a chemistry or physics class. Now the reason for this is that every student needs to have a life science class, which would be biology, and a physical science class, which would be chemistry or physics, in order to graduate. So this is a supplementary class to those science classes. Also, it's recommended that students have completed algebra and are enrolled in geometry. Just so you know, for the math component of this class, there are no calculators allowed on the test. So that's a big deal for those of us that have a hard time with mental math. So that's something to be aware of and to prepare yourself for. Now this is a cross-curricular course. That means that we're going to be covering all types of topics in science. Biology, chemistry, physics, geology, as well as classes not related to science, like economy, history, and government. Also, reading and writing are major components of this course. So if you are not a strong writer, hopefully your writing will improve through this course, because we write a lot of essays as well as analytical type of writings looking at different scientific data. Okay, so what are your expectations? What are the expectations for you, that is? Well, first of all, you need to be prepared to read 10 pages of your textbook every night. That's no exception, okay? So if you fall behind, that means the next night you're going to be reading 20. So you got to get used to liking to read, or at least muscling through it. Another thing is there are lots and lots of laboratories for this class. So be prepared to get dirty. We're going to go outside and do a lot of labs as well as inside the classroom. Case studies is a term that you want to get familiar with. A case study is basically taking the principles that we are learning and seeing it applied in the real world. So we're going to read about a different case study for every chapter. Okay, we're also going to have research projects and exams. Now your exams are a big part of your course because the goal of this course is that you pass the AP exam. So as a result, exams are going to be a large percentage of your grade, which we're going to discuss more in a little bit. But just so you know, because the AP exam is composed of 60% multiple choice and 40% free response in terms of what the point values are, that's going to be what your tests are going to be like as well. So I'm trying to mirror the AP exam as best as possible. Now the textbook that the school has provided for you is Environmental Science for the AP, and that's what you're going to be reading out of. Now here are all the different course standards that you can look through. They cover all the different subjects that we're going to cover in more depth, and so you can have a look through those. If you have any questions about any of them, feel free to let me know. Here's our course outline by the weeks. So this is approximately how many weeks we're going to devote to each unit and the labs that we're going to do. Now, full disclosure, this is my first time teaching the course, so this is subject to change. But because this is posted as a Google Doc and linked to my website, I will be making changes, and you can see the most updated changes by clicking on that Google Doc in my website. So here are, after you go through these, you'll see down here we are going to read a book. We're going to be reading a book by John Muir, so an essay by him or about him. He's my favorite person, environmentalist, I guess you could say, so that's why we're going to be focusing on him. If you have another environmentalist that you're particularly interested in learning more about, you can feel free to let me know, and I will approve a book for you for that person. So here's what the AP score looks like. The AP scores are 5 to 1, so if you anything with a 3 passes. So I've tried to make my course similar to that. If you get an 80%, which is about what they score the exam as an 8. If you get 80% of the exam questions right, or points for the exam questions, you get a 5. If you get 70%, you'll get a 4, and if you get 60%, you'll get a 3. So that's going to be corresponding to letter grades. So that is, if you were to write it parallel, an A would be 80% or above, which may seem low, but it is a difficult course. So that's what I'm taking into consideration. 70% or above would be a B, and 60% or above would be a C. All right. So your exam or your final grades are based on work ethic, which basically you get to keep all your work ethic points as long as you're doing your labs in a safe manner, and as long as you are not cheating on your exams. The cheating policy, I can go into more depth, but I don't personally, but I don't really expect any of you to have to take it, to have that enforced on you. So let's just stay away from that altogether. The AP practice exams are going to be 20%. There will be an AP practice exam given as your final for this class. The unit exams and quizzes are 50% of your grade, and labs and projects are 20%. All right, so if you need to get a hold of me, please feel free to email me. It's ssubotic@ttusd.org. Okay, so feel free to email me, give me a time to call you if you'd rather talk to me in person, and I look forward to getting to know all of you better.